All right, seems like we're live, guys.
Not
Awesome.
sure because I can see the translation. Actually, I can see the stream on YouTube. Are we? Okay, yeah, we are. Okay, good. So, just a second. So, okay, we have 20 people joined. So, I guess we can wait for like 2 more minutes.
Sure.
Wait some more people join, and then we can start.
Great.
Okay, we have 20 people joined. As you can see, we have like a Christmas atmosphere here, like a New Year vibe.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's the time of year.
Yeah.
You should be celebrating.
Christmas stream. So 1 minute left, and then we can start. So, okay, I guess it's time. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to 1X and Sheesha Finance AMA session on topic crypto investing in 2024. And I'm thrilled to have you all here today, like our audience and our special guest from Sheesha Finance. So whether you are a long-time subscriber or just stumbled upon the stream, I appreciate you taking time to join. So for those who might be new for us, AMA is a fantastic opportunity, for us to connect directly with you guys and with our amazing guests. So first AMA session from our side. We're gonna take like a first of all, we're gonna make our AMA session from our side. So I'm gonna ask questions to Saeed first, and then after that, we're gonna have like 10-15 minutes Q&A session where Saeed gonna pick 3 lucky people who are gonna ask the questions. So he's gonna answer your questions and pick, as I said, like 3 lucky people, and then give you rewards in 1X tokens. So we can ask our guest anything related to crypto investing in 2024. So everything is okay till it's related to the topic of our speech today, of our AMA today, and whether it's about our guest experiences, insights, of thoughts on industry, etc. So before we dive into the questions, so I want to express my gratitude to each of you guys and everyone, so for your supporting and that you've shown today. It means a lot for us, and I'm looking forward to the interactive session. So without further ado, let's get started. And my first question to Saeed is, Saeed, can you tell us more about yourself and the Sheesha company by itself?
Sure, yeah, would love to. Thanks for having me on the AMA. I hope it will be useful for the audience and for your community and for our community. So I got started in the crypto space towards the middle of 2016 when I co-founded a regulated early stage crypto fund called Alphabet, with an I, not with an E. That was about 7 years ago. I also kind of personally sold all my traditional assets and put it all into Bitcoin. And then from Bitcoin, I started angel investing in a lot of crypto startups. Before those projects would get to ICO stage, I would be kind of an angel investor, and in most of these crypto startups, I'd be asked to join the advisory board or the board of directors because I would have been involved in those projects at a very, very early stage when they were kind of before they even had a product or service or before they even had investors. And I've just personally continued doing so. And in those projects that I was investing early stage to help with liquidity, once the tokens of those projects were listing, I was also kind of trading those crypto assets, even though they were very small liquidity and small cap tokens when they first listed. But I was happy to kind of get involved actively on the trading side, which I think is why what you guys are offering in terms of 1x is going to be very useful for everyday kind of users and traders out there. And I'm excited to kind of share my experience on that side. But my background before I got into the crypto space, I used to work in Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, one of the largest sovereign wealth funds. So I had a very good background in traditional finance and asset management and traditional investing. And all those principles, to some extent, do kind of apply in the crypto market. I would say that probably the crypto markets have a lot more risk involved than the traditional markets out there. And it's been a very interesting journey to kind of see firsthand so many early stage startups kind of go through their journey from idea stage to launch, and then after they launch to kind of grow and scale up their product or service as they kind of mature into established startup and then onto a kind of large organization. And we've seen a few of those over the past kind of decade in the crypto space. Of course, the biggest crypto assets are kind of like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they are where they are for specific reasons. But I think the basic principles of Bitcoin is what attracted me to the space, because I think that Bitcoin is an alternative to the traditional fiat and monetary system. And it gives people, especially people in countries where inflation rate is extremely high, it gives them something or an asset to kind of put their wealth into that's not depreciating over time with high inflation. But I think,
sorry for interruption, but I prepared some questions about it, like in the future, so we can actually skip this part for next questions.
happy to do so. So a few years ago, after kind of being involved in the early stage space of crypto startups and advising a lot of them and trading a lot of crypto assets, then I thought I wanted to create my own startup, and which leveraged my kind of experience and my network over the years and what I've been doing anyway in a personal capacity. But I wanted something in a more kind of formal structure where I bring on a team and share my experiences and get them to kind of have training and understand what I've been going through over the past 7 years and apply that into early stage startups. So I founded Sheesha Finance about April 2021. We launched initially on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, initially as a DeFi protocol, as a staking protocol. But also we kind of set up a fund entity where it was more of our own capital that we deployed. And in the first year and a half, we deployed about 5 million USD into 40 very early stage crypto startups. And then as the bear market kind of kicked in, then we pivoted to becoming more of an incubator, accelerator, or consultancy entity. And then at the beginning of this year, we expanded the services side of the business so that it was not just only in terms of general consultancy or incubation kind of support. But we also kind of saw that, especially in the UAE, there was a huge influx of human capital and both startups and established companies, especially in the crypto space, that were making the move over to the UAE for many different reasons that we can go into if we want to talk about the UAE as a jurisdiction. But we also added legal structuring, bank account opening, and event management, not just for crypto startups or companies, but also we have quite a lot of clients who are in traditional markets and traditional kind of industries. And we've seen that side of the business exponentially grow. And the portfolio is about 2.5 years old, and the portfolio is made up now of 70 companies. And it's been a very interesting kind of journey to see their innovation over time, and also the level of innovation in the space that's come up over the last, especially the last 5 years. I think we've seen tremendous development in the blockchain and the crypto space, but I think there's a lot more yet to come. And I think with the excitement of institutions kind of getting into Bitcoin as a starting point, and then all the speculation around a Bitcoin ETF via BlackRock and several other huge asset managers, I think the short-term and the long-term prospects of the industry are really high. Of course, like any other industry, any other kind of new emerging industry that is evolving around a new emerging technology, there's always going to be speculators, there's always going to be opportunists. But when I got into the space, my timeline was always at least 10 years before we could see kind of higher levels of adoption of crypto or blockchain generally and globally. But happy to be here and happy to go into specific questions out there.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of a long answer, like around 10 minutes. But so yeah, let's kind of, what should I say? Just a second. So I get some problems. Yeah. So let's kind of spend like around 5 minutes for one question. So then we can actually go with the timeline we have. So because our time is also limited. So yeah. But anyway, I appreciate it. It was really interesting story. Like 17 companies. It's pretty much like a lot. Like really huge experience. So from what I heard. And as you're a Bitcoin maxi from what I see. Maybe not now, but at least you were, right? So same as me. Yeah, Bitcoin is the future. So let's move to the next question. So it's regarding the events. We all love to attend. So what events do you think were key for the cryptocurrency market in 2023?
I think there's always kind of a hallmark or trademark name or brand kind of events. If we're talking about the UAE, the biggest blockchain or crypto event is the Future Blockchain Summit, which happens once a year. And then there's also Satoshi's Roundtable, which is a very kind of exclusive, high-end event, which usually brings in the crypto OGs or the people who have been very, very early adopters of Bitcoin and blockchain technology. But I think, for me personally, I feel that the smaller kind of more private events are better quality and tend to get better quality people attend or participate, and you tend to get better kind of time to discuss or have a conversation with a few people that are in attendance. Of course, the big public events have their merits too, in general for the market. But I just feel that quality over quantity is usually a winning ticket in most aspects of life.
Okay. would be great to see you one day in some events. We're also going to visit. So next question is also regarding events, but not events. We just talked, but the things which happened in crypto space. Like, so what stuff and what events in 2024 can determine the movement of the cryptocurrency, in your opinion, like cryptocurrency market, and what the crypto community can expect from what is going to happen, like Bitcoin ETF, maybe crash of Binance, for example. I don't know, like some as we saw, like crash of FTX. So we can. I mean, I'm ready for everything. So yeah, what? Yeah. So what events, in your opinion, can happen in 2024?
Basically, 2023 was mostly a good year for the crypto market in general, because you saw kind of steady pace of growth, especially in Bitcoin, but then also in other tokens and other coins where there is clear utility around those tokens. But I think the most major kind of news or events that happened in 2023 was two of those, and one of them, of course, was the speculation around Bitcoin ETF, and also BlackRock kind of submitting a proposal for a Bitcoin ETF. But then also, I think the news around Binance's settlement with the SEC and CZ stepping down as CEO, that actually was probably negative for CZ himself and Binance to a certain extent. But that event was very, very, very useful for the market, because it removed a lot of uncertainty about the lawsuit that was hanging around Binance. So it was good to get clarity on that and remove uncertainty, and that's why you saw a lot of movement since that happened. But in 2024, of course, you have the Bitcoin halving, which is a huge event that happens once every 4 years. So I'm expecting things to develop and progress dramatically as we get nearer to that date, which is in March 2024. And then people are expecting around that time, or shortly after, or shortly before, that there is a conclusion on a Bitcoin ETF officially being approved. But yeah, I think in general, the market should see steady kind of growth from here. And I think 2025 should also be very exciting and very interesting. But all of this, because crypto is a risky asset class, usually it performs better when the macroeconomic situation is much better than what it is at the moment. The global macroeconomic situation has improved slightly over the last few months, but it's not as kind of strong as it was a few years ago or 5 years ago, when you saw kind of a huge amount of money printing and the opposite of what's happening now. So there was negative interest rate at some point, or zero interest rate for a long time. Traditional markets all kind of got saturated and heated up. And now you're seeing the opposite. So I think when there's a risk-off environment in general, risky assets don't generally perform as good. But for the crypto markets, I think the fundamentals are pretty strong. And that's what's been the main cause of the steady increase in activity and in volume and in volatility recently. And I expect that to continue to happen. And hopefully there's a better global economic situation for that to kind of keep going as well.
Yeah, thanks for like your, the perspective you gave us for the market, like for what can happen to the market. And it's really useful. And actually, my next question is about assets and about like the assets price. And everyone, just to remind that we're not giving any financial advices. So what we say, just like conversation, like an interview. So yeah, I wanted to ask you regarding the Bitcoin and Ethereum, since you already mentioned it twice. So what do you think will be the price of those assets I just mentioned? Maybe Dogecoin as well, like in any other top assets, right? So top coins. So which ones are worth investing in your opinion? And once again, it's not any financial advice. So yeah, we're just having a fun conversation.
Sure. So in general, with crypto assets, the larger the market, usually the lower the kind of inherent risk against other assets in crypto market. So if you have a recently listed token, for example, then you'll see a huge amount of volatility and activity around it initially, and then things will quieten down. And then the company behind that cryptocurrency or token will start continuing to build their product or service or acquire a user base and build their community and so on. And then you'll see things kind of move ahead and positively after that. But I think, if there's two things. One is trading and the other is investing. And usually trading is if you have a 1 to 6 month kind of time horizon on your mind, then of course you would be buying crypto assets that you feel are undervalued and then selling them in the short term when you feel that they've reached a price point where you're making a healthy return. And then there's investing, and investing usually is, I'd say, in traditional markets, it's a 5 to 10 year time horizon. But in the crypto markets, it's usually for the long term, we'd say about 3 to 5 years. And you're usually not really trading in and out of any positions you've invested in. And then with investing, so with trading, you can kind of also trade on derivatives, trade with leverage, and all of these things that you can do to magnify the risk and magnify the reward. But obviously, it's high risk, high reward. So it's for people who kind of are confident in their trading abilities and their trading skills. And then with investing, it's more you have a kind of subjective approach. And that's usually what happens when you're involved at a very, very early stage with a project and they're still only at an idea stage and maybe it's been bootstrapped by the founders and they haven't even raised capital yet. And with those kind of startups and projects that you're looking at, it's going to be pretty subjective when you make a decision if you will invest or not. But with kind of later stage companies or later stage startups that already have a product or service or already have users or already have backers and already have a community, then you can look at the numbers and look at the facts and make an objective decision about whether you should invest or not. And so it just depends on which crypto asset you're looking at. It depends on the timeline that you're looking at for the position or investment or trade that you're going to make. And you have to understand the differences in all of these different aspects. And it usually takes, in my case, it took me 6 months of full-time research and networking and speaking to people that are already in the space before I got a good idea of how the market works and how the technology itself works too. So I think a lot of research, a lot of patience, a lot of conviction should keep you in good stead in the space.
Understandable, and actually I pretty value what you just said, and yeah, it's pretty informative answer. Thanks a lot for this. And just a really short question to I just want to add something to the previous one. So what projects are worth keeping an eye on in 2024 then, beside of BTC or ETH? So yeah, just maybe you have some insights for us.
I think if you want to take on something towards the lower risk of the scale of risk in this market, then usually the safest kind of bets usually are. So what is Bitcoin? What is Ethereum? They are blockchain networks where the actual coin or token is being utilized by the network itself to power the network. And these are usually what's known as infrastructure kind of entities, and it's either a layer 1 or a layer 2 or a layer 0 blockchain network, and those usually, because of the clear utility that's inherent with these blockchain ecosystems and blockchain communities and blockchain networks, the higher the kind of people that are using and transacting on that network, and the higher the number of upcoming projects and developments that are happening on that network, should give you a good idea of which of these infrastructure projects or companies are worth taking a look at and researching. And then obviously you have the early stage where you're kind of investing way before a private stage or way before a public sale of a token. And those you have to kind of look at different aspects again. And it's more kind of looking at the people that are behind this company. Whereas like with decentralized networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's not really anybody who's in control of the code or in control of the network. And it's usually determined by a consensus of how that network is going to run. So I think infrastructure is the safest. And then if you want to go to the kind of highest risk, I'd say like really early stage, idea stage projects in a specific use case on a specific blockchain. Obviously, there's trends and use cases, and the latest ones are kind of like AI related and metaverse related and real world assets. Tokenization is also kind of gaining momentum. About 5 years ago, it was super early and super hyped, but I think now there's a lot more liquidity. There's a lot more asset owners who are tokenizing their assets. So I think that's an interesting area too. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting ideas and a lot of interesting developments out there. So it just has to be something that fits your risk profile and also kind of fits what interests you the most in the space. And there's so many things that can be of interest to so many different people in this market.
Thanks a lot. So since you mentioned like the infrastructure solutions and like some, utility, so high value utility tokens, I can ask you regarding the 1x because we also have our 1x token. We're going to list it like on exchange, one of the top exchange, by the way. I won't tell you guys because I also don't know, but it's going to happen really soon, like maybe in 2 weeks. So stay tuned and follow up. So yeah, and so since we're going to have a listing, our token soon, so how do you think like the 1x project, like 1x trading board, so can become successful and in demand on the market?
I think there's a few things that are going to be important for you guys. One of them is kind of continuing to build your community and continuing to engage your community, which is why events like this, like AMAs or interviews or podcasts or kind of social media is extremely important. As you've seen with quite a few of these meme coins that have been coming out, the only thing that's really kind of pushing these tokens to kind of have a lot of volatility, a lot of volume, a lot of interest is basically around their community. So I think that's important. And I think what else is going to be important is to acquire the users and have the actual regular users that are going to be using your product on an ongoing basis, and growing that number is going to be very important too. But I think kind of developing the product and evolving it over time and enhancing it and listening to customer kind of feedback is going to be important for you, because there's quite a lot of competition there. And if you're not providing the best product or service, then it's going to be very difficult. So I think it's really important to make sure that you're kind of adding features as you go along, and you're keeping the community engaged, and you're listening to the community so that you can have the best product or service out there. But I think also having liquidity on the token is going to be very important. So that's usually the job of a market maker or liquidity provider, or a few number of those, which I'm sure that you guys are looking at and will be using. And then just I think there's a lot of different things that you guys internally will have to manage, and a lot of challenges that you're going to have to face. But I think the most important thing is adapting to your environment, adapting to your customers, adapting to your community, and evolving over time is really, really important. So I think listening and communication is going to be critical here.
Appreciate. It's really what we really value when people like giving us such advices. So yeah, and that's what we actually are doing at the moment. So we're trying to concentrate on our community building, and yeah, we're trying to gain it. So for now, we already have like pretty solid numbers in my opinion. Like we have around 30K in Telegram and actually same numbers in Twitter. So, and we keep growing, and we hope to get more people join to us like after our listing. So yeah, stay update everyone. By the way, I also can mention our partnership between us, right? So, and I think everyone can be interested in it. So, what is the main partnership between Sheesha Finance and 1x Trading Board? So, I'm also really interested. So, can you tell us more?
Yeah, sure. I think what's the most important thing is making our community aware of what 1X is doing as a project and as a startup. And also, I think in terms of what we're usually providing as services to existing clients, if you guys need any support in any of those areas, then we are here to kind of support the business on an ongoing basis. And usually, I would say we have a really great network globally, but more so in the MENA region and in the UAE more specifically. So we are looking at ways to collaborate with 1X and enhance, the kind of engagement and community growth here too. But I think also in terms of our community that would want to have access to a product or service like yours, I think it'll be very helpful and we'll engage our community and try to encourage them to at least try out your product and see how that goes. But I think it's kind of a broad overall strategic partnership where we are here to support 1X and very specifically in what you guys want to achieve in the MENA region specifically.
Glad to hear it, and we are ready, and our marketing department are ready to provide some the best offers for you guys for the community to use our project. So,
Awesome.
and since we're gonna have all products be done like maybe at the start, maybe at the middle of January. So, and uh, till that moment, we need to prepare something, and after that, we pretty much open for some collaborations like in terms of our product, so we can share our product and giving some like making some events and giving some giveaways for free, etc. So yeah, we're pretty open for it, and we're pretty open to collaborate with anyone else who are interested in us. So yeah, let's move forward, everyone. So what trading and investing trends would you highlight in 2024? So yeah, let's get back to the main topic of the today's meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the current trend is going towards AI and real world assets, and I think also sustainability and impact, social impact is kind of a trend at the moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think exploring those areas is worthwhile, and doing research on those different areas is worthwhile, and finding out who is building a product or service that solves a problem in those use cases or industries um, can be something that would be productive for people out there. But I think the space or the crypto market and the blockchain technology is evolving rapidly and changing all the time. So I would probably expect something new to come up in 2024 that most people probably haven't even thought about, which might gain a lot of hype and attract interest and attract a lot of speculators. So the trends are there at the moment to see, but I expect there might be one more kind of hyped up trend that comes out. Usually that happens towards the middle to end of a bull cycle. So I think this is the beginning of the bull cycle, and we've been through the bear market, and there's been a lot of entrepreneurs and people that have built a product or service and companies over the last few years. And it'll be interesting to see which one of those gain traction and do the right thing and grow and be successful. And it'll be interesting then to see the new wave of unicorns in the space. So we've had a number of those over the last decade, but I would expect to see a lot more over the next few years too.
Great. So let's move forward. And what project does Sheesha Finance invest in today, and what assets do you personally invest in? So you actually already kind of answered this question, but we can just talk about it briefly. Yeah, to just
Sure,
highlight this
sure,
point.
sure. So the 70 portfolio companies in Shisha Finance are across a number of different use cases across a number of blockchain networks and ecosystems. So we have projects that are in terms of sustainability, we have a few out there. In terms of NFT as a use case, we have a number of those. In terms of DeFi, we have quite several number of those. In terms of infrastructure, and really, mostly the projects that we have in the portfolio are ones where we've been involved at an idea stage, so at a very early stage, and ones where we feel that they have looked at the market in detail and in general, and then targeted in to a niche market, or they've looked at the specific problem that's existing in the market, and they've come up with an idea that kind of has a solid case for solving that problem in general. So I think something that has long-term potential, something that has people that have good experience and relevant experience,
Mhm.
usually goes a long way. But also the size of the market these startups are targeting is important too. And then also kind of we've helped a lot of these portfolio companies structure their business, structure their token, structure their the economics of their token, build their community, develop their product and service, and get to market. So I think these are the types of projects that we've been working with Shisha Finance. Personally, I've not really been doing too much investing myself because I've been putting all my efforts and resources into Shisha Finance, which basically reflects my kind of thoughts and opinion about the future of the market, and it's just a structured way of putting that across. But I've been doing a fair bit of trading recently because I've seen a lot of volatility come back in the market. So the high cap leveraged kind of trading is what I've been personally doing, but not so much on the investment side. That's been mainly happening in terms of Shisha Finance. But I think because we have a really early stage portfolio now that's maturing over the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, with all these portfolio companies, usually we're locked up invested on the token side between 2 to 3 years from listing. So we have about 50 of these projects that are yet to list. So the portfolio, we're probably halfway through the what I foresee is the maturity of our portfolio and of our company. So over the next few years, I expect a lot more returns on the portfolio side, a lot more liquidity too in the portfolio that we have. And obviously, of course, I'll see a lot of activity in terms of the services that we provide and the traction that that's getting. And then also our focus will be 2024 going forward, more so on established startups that have raised capital and that have backers and that have a small amount of revenue or users, and that have good traction and that have built a good community, and they just want to kind of go to the next level. We'll identify those and offer them our services, and also maybe deploy into one of the later kind of stage rounds that they're offering, maybe like an OTC on the token side, or a short-term kind of 6 to 12 month vesting period on their tokens. Then we would consider that too, as well as kind of scaling the business and growing our team too.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, I wish you guys good luck and I wish you guys all the best. So in investing, and I hope like the 2024 will become a really bullish year for all of us. And yeah, we can all make some profit from this year. So, and last question, but not least, as always. So I would mention that 1x, we here in 1x, we are making the solution for prop trading companies, right? For like professional people, professional traders. But still, we have a lot of people who are newcomers actually, who just came to the market of the newbie, and they're kind of new, like to hold everything, right, which is like going on here. So they don't familiar at all to crypto. And what top 5 tips for beginner investors like you could tell us, and what would they be like? Yeah, it would be really useful to hear, since as I said we have a lot of
Sure,
newcomers, since adoption is here,
sure,
right? So we
sure,
need to
sure,
take care
sure.
of it.
I think there's a few things that are really important. First one, and the basis of any decision that anybody should make, the first point is research. I think you can never do enough research on a potential opportunity. So I think that will help you identify a lot of concerns or exciting things about a project. And that's usually the research usually happens at the due diligence stage of more kind of professional setups and more kind of formal companies that are investing. But on a personal level, I think, the least you can do is look at the website of something that you're looking at, look at their community, look at their social media, look at their founders on social media, ask around, ask people in your network, send them an email, try to call them, and just find out as much information as you can before you
Mhm.
make an investment or trading decision. And then I think also what's important is to kind of learn from others who have been experienced in the space for a long time and kind of
Mhm.
get advice from them and be well informed with people who have been in the space for a long time and who have good experience. But I think also, like, kind of along with that, you look at the product or service, you look at the problem that's being solved. Is that product or service something that you would personally use? I think investments make a lot more sense with companies that have a product or service that you are going to use. And it's just, I think, common sense too. I think just going with your guts is useful, but I think it's more important to be prepared and well informed before you kind of make the final decision on anything. And then I think accessing platforms that make it easy for people that are new to a space to kind of learn from and leverage their product or service. Also, kind of attending public events, private events, can give you, kind of access to a lot of people that are not in your immediate network. But I think
Mhm.
having a quality over quantity, especially in terms of your network, will really be really helpful to you. But yeah, then again, kind of looking at the market, understanding the emotions that are in a market. Maybe at the moment, like over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of greed in the market. There's been a lot of buying in the market, and there's been a lot of price action in a positive direction. But there has been a pullback recently, and that's healthy for the market. So I think you need to understand also, is there investor confidence in the market in general? And at the moment, it's kind of slowly starting to grow, but I expect at some point over the next few months or the next year or two, there's going to be much more kind of confidence in the market in general, and a lot more activities. And the best opportunities
Hope
are the
so.
ones that actually happened in the bear market. And there are going to be a lot more opportunities that are yet to come, but also finding these opportunities is really important. So if you have a good network that can get you deal flow, that can get you access to deals or access to information that most people otherwise wouldn't have, that will give you a clear advantage too.
Appreciate a lot for those tips. And I also would say, since you said like hey, you guys should to hear more like professional in the industry, so you guys need to visit our YouTube channel and listen to our AMAs more. Yeah, attend events like AMAs and interviews. And yeah, I also would say that we're gonna have another amazing AMA and kind of interview AMA next week with one of our partner, Zelika. So it's going to be really huge and cool. So everyone, welcome to join. So the interview part for today for Saeed is actually done. Thanks for answering today. And now we are moving forward to Q&A session. So for now, you guys have like 1 minute. You can actually, I see that some people already actually leave their questions in a chat. So, but anyway, you still have like around 1 minute to put your questions. And after 1 minute, say you can actually choose one, like you can choose three in total. I mean, you can choose 3 questions and answer them. So, and all of those lockers will get the 500 1x tokens. So, which is pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, guys, let's get started. Just giving you 1 minute. And so fire away with the questions in the live chat.
I'm not... I have a
Okay,
link
can you
to
see
the live chat.
Yeah, do you see it?
I don't see it. 1 second.
Can you check? I mean, I guess you need to come to the translation, to the stream, so then you can see it.
Can you share with me the link? I'll go on my phone.
Oh, sure, yeah, no problem. So everyone, I give you 1 more minute, so.
Yeah, while I find the link.
Yeah, no problem. So just a second.
I think we're in the Telegram group.
Yeah, I just sent it to you in a Telegram, so you can join from your device. And so when you choose a person, please read the nickname and then the question. So, and everyone, when you put your questions, please put your Telegram ID so we can identify you after the chat, like after the session, and we can find you and give you the price. So, because we need to get your addresses right. So keep it in mind. Can you see now?
I can see the description. Hang on a second. Let me. Okay.
I guess maybe it might be better to open it from the computer because it just, it's the right side of the video, so you can easily find it.
Right. Okay. Maybe on the phone it's not great.
Yeah, it might be different place. So.
1 second.
So everyone, you still have time to ask if you didn't have anything.
Still have a minute or two.
Yeah. If you didn't have anything come to mind, so for now you still have at least like a few seconds to ask, and then Saeed gonna choose it. So can you see it now?
I'm just opening the link here. 1 second.
Sure. It's on the right side, so you can scroll and check it out. Yeah. So the first person who asked the question was a guy called Dave Gagic. So we can start from him, and then you can actually scroll down and read out the questions.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can see them here. Let me see. Okay, I can see the chat. Where is the questions?
Just random people asking random questions. So, for example, the first guy who asked a question, his name is Dave Gagic. So then the guy.
That's the first one.
Yeah, it was from Israel, I guess. So, and then the guy, George Antonio. So they all ask questions.
If Anishku Israel AC asked the question, is your platform suitable for crypto beginners, or is it only limited professional users? I would say our platform, especially the DeFi protocol, would be easier for crypto native people to use. For people who are familiar with using a Web3 wallet, would find it easier to access the platform and understand how to use it. But we do have user guides and for beginners to kind of explore and be able to do it. But in the future, we hope to have an application, a mobile app, which makes it super easy for new beginners in the space to be able to interact with the platform without needing to understand what's happening on the back end. So the front end needs to have a great user experience for people to be able to use, and should also have a built-in wallet to facilitate that. So I think at the moment it's for crypto natives, but in the future we want to kind of onboard new users who don't necessarily have the crypto experience or background, and make it as easy as possible for them to use.
Okay, congratulations to the guy.
Then we have the only Lannis. He asked, what's the difference between M Sheesha, B Sheesha, and E Sheesha? And really, those are our tokens that are issued. M Sheeshas are token on Polygon or Matic network. B Sheeshas are token on Binance Smart Chain. E Sheeshas are token on Ethereum chain. And it's because originally when we first started off, people that were staking our token on each of those chains would get rewards in terms of the tokens of the projects in our portfolio directly kind of claimable in their wallet. So we had to kind of separate those tokens, but it's purely which blockchain network they're on. But the utility of the tokens across those chains is the same. Let's see if I can find that one here.
Yeah, you can check more questions. So
I think one more, right? One more.
Yeah, one more. So Ifenu Chaku Israel AC, please put your Telegram ID into the chat. So after that we can find you. Our CM will find you and ask you for your Ethereum address, wallet address, so that how we can send you tokens. And another guy, who was this? The only Lanis. So also please, please do the same. Send up your Telegram.
Final one. It's a Russian name, the one after the only Lanis. They asked, how did you find out about cryptocurrencies and when?
Oh, okay. I see.
And my answer to that would be, I'm always hugely appreciative of my co-founders at Alphabet Fund. Liam Robertson is the CEO and one of our co-founders and a close friend who I've known for many, many years before I even got into the crypto space. And he basically, he called me out of the blue and he said he wanted to set up a fund and he wanted me to be a co-founder and partner. I asked him which asset class it was. He said crypto. I was like, what the hell is crypto? I've never heard of it before. He asked me if I heard of Bitcoin, and I said, yes, I've heard of Bitcoin, but mainly because of people that were using it in the dark web and Silk Road and kind of negative news about it. But he urged me to look at the fundamentals of Bitcoin at the very least. And when I did kind of do a few days of research, for me it was a no-brainer, so much so that I already knew that it was the future, and the future of money, or the biggest disruptor of money and the financial services industry and the financial institutional industry too. And that's proving to be the case as time goes along. And I'm really, really happy that I actually got involved in the space. I've learned a huge, huge amount over the years, and I have been very lucky with the people that have supported me in my journey and continue to support me. And I've been really lucky to support a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of founders, and I think it's very satisfying to see, you know, to see somebody become successful when you've been supporting them at a really, really early stage, and seeing them kind of take on the challenges and learn from their mistakes and evolve over time and make their endeavor a success, and be successful and contribute to the ecosystem. This industry is still extremely small. We are a very, very small community. If you think about numbers globally, the rate of adoption is extremely low. We are involved in the space and have been for a number of years, and we think that everybody else out there knows about crypto or understands it. And actually, there's a hell of a lot of people that don't know what crypto is, that don't understand it, that have never looked at it. And there is a lot of people that are yet to kind of be introduced to this technology, which is blockchain. And over time, gradually, that will happen. But it's been very, very interesting to see how things have developed over the last 7 years for me.
Great. Thanks again for answering the question. And I want to say congratulations to everyone who have been chosen. So yeah. Let's wrap it up. And once again, everyone, before I wrap it up, so please leave your Telegram ID in the chat. I asked our CM, our community manager, to ask it again. So she did. Please listen to her. And yeah, once again, leave your Telegram ID or we wouldn't find you and we couldn't send you any prizes, right? So now we have a last chance. So anyway, all right, everyone. I want to appreciate Saeed today. Really many thanks for joining us. And it's really big honor to, see you indirectly, like in person, and talk to you directly. So yeah, let's wrap up today's AMA session. So thank you so much, everyone, for your fantastic questions and engaging in this conversation. It was really interesting to hear, and I hope we all had a great time. Well, I don't know about you, but I did. So sharing our thoughts and your insights about the market, about how you started, about how the Sheesha started, so how did you invest, etc. It was really good insights for me personally, first of all. So everyone, if you enjoyed the AMA today, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for sure. And if you haven't already, of course, also stay tuned and follow up for our social media, because as I said, we're going to have a listing for 1x token really soon, like 1-2 weeks. So we're going to make an update. So you're going to be aware. And yeah, turn on notifications so you won't miss anything in the future. As I said, we're going to have a really amazing AMA, same time next Wednesday with Zalika waiting for you there. And yeah, your participation and support mean really worth to me, to us, to our team. And I'll see you next week in the next video or live stream, whatever. And until then, take care and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Maxim.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you too. Bye.
No problem.